So yesterday I was going through my storage and I came across these catalogs here. Now at first glance they may not look like much, but they're actually both over a decade old. This one is from 2008 and this one here is from 2009. Seems like just yesterday, but I got these catalogs when I was a kid because Phantom Fireworks is where I used to shop back when I lived in Minnesota. We'd go over to Wisconsin and buy the fireworks. So I do want to show you guys these. Now, keep in mind, I was 11 years old when I got these catalogs, so I have actually written some stuff in here and scribbled some things out. I wish I hadn't destroyed them as bad as I did, but there were things that I would want, so I would circle them, and then the things I didn't want, I would kind of cross them out. I know that a lot of you guys shop Phantom Fireworks. I haven't shopped Phantom since I was about this age, but I would be really interested to see if any of you guys know if the prices have changed at all since 2008. And I know they still do the buy one get one free deals like you see up here. But yeah, if any of you guys still shop at Phantom Fireworks, definitely let me know in the comments how different these prices are. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the 2008 catalog. I just want to take a quick look at it. I also found some other stuff, by the way. So I guess before we take a look at the catalog, let me take a few seconds to show you some of these items. Now this is just a box that I kept from a long time ago. You can see again the old logo, and it looks like it's dated as the copyright is 2000. These were some old whistling bottle rockets here by Phantom Fireworks. These were always my favorite as a kid. For some reason I kept these boxes. This one's called Electric Eel. Definitely one of my favorites when I was a kid. And then what else do we got? So these are what came in the box here. These were the whistling bottle rockets, and they're dated the same. These were just the little flaps that came on the top of the plastic packaging. We've got some wolf pack firecrackers here. Not an actual pack, just the part of the label that, as you can see, I put tape over to kind of keep it intact after all these years. We've got, out of the tube assortment, we've got the Thunderstorm Shell. I think it still looks like this because I went to a Phantom in Georgia and I think we found this little set, but I think now they come in 4-packs and in the tube assortment, so pretty cool. This is an old receipt that I found as well with all this stuff. As you can see, those are the items that I purchased. This was actually my grandma that bought these fireworks for me, but you can see here we were at the location in Roberts, Wisconsin. That's where we used to go because it was kind of the closest one. And this date here is July 1st, 2010. Pretty cool. So we'll show you what we got in 2010. Wow. I don't know, I just like to revisit some of this stuff that I put away after all these years. We've got the Phantom card. This is the original one. So I think this would give you points. So every time you went to Phantom, you'd swipe this before shopping, and then everything you spend gets put on here, and you get so many points, and you can redeem them for free stuff. I'm not really sure how that works. Then we've got Willow Among the Palm, a little 7-shotter. This was also one of my favorite little 200 grammers. Pretty cool, vintage looking label. As you can see, the old logo. I don't know if they still make them like this, but anyway, pretty cool stuff that I found with these catalogs. So now, let's get into the 2008 edition of the Phantom Fireworks catalog. And we used to get these by mail. So you can see a bunch of coupons up here, little advertisements. It's kind of cool to see how this stuff has aged. Because obviously the newer catalogs, they've got way more capability. They even have like the little things that you scan with your phone, whereas these do not. Flipping over the page here, some of my favorites. Oh boy, this is a blast from the past, let me tell you. I always wanted that when I was a kid because that was just like the biggest firework in the whole room. Super cool. I also really like this Supercell Storm because I also like storm chasing. And then flipping the page, I gotta be really careful because the staples are barely intact. The Beast Unleashed, that was one of my favorites for sure. That and Wickedly Awesome. I wonder if Screamin' Mimi is still in here. Or maybe we already skipped that one, I'm not sure. That might be in the next catalog. We'll have to look for that one because that was one of my favorites too. Back in the day, I don't know if they still have it, but Phantom Fireworks used to have this awesome thing on their website where you could build your show. So they had all the video demos of their products and you could put them together and then build a show, which is what I always did before the 4th of July so that we knew what we were going to get. And I look at all the prices down here. So one kit of the Copperhead Minis is going to be $9.99 back in 2008, and that's buy one get one free. So you're paying like $10 for 2 packs of those. I don't know what it is now, but And then this one here, one kit for $9.99. That's the mini mites, or the mighty mites, sorry. We always used to get the silver and gold cans. I don't know if they still... Yeah, this one right here, the Silver Salute Shell. That was always my favorite. You can see, when I was a kid, I actually circled that just as a reminder that we need to get those ones, I'm sure. Yeah, super cool to look back on this. Here's all our single shots. As a kid, I saw these and I was like, wow, those are expensive for just one. Because as you can see, $21 for that, $24 for that. I always thought that was crazy. But I still think they're pretty cool. Now, here's all the tube racks. These were always the ones that I could never afford. Because as you can see, they're like $200. And yeah, it's buy one, get one free. So it's like $100 a piece. But I would always circle these. And like here, I circled the cheapest one possible. And what was that? That was the X7 Airburst. I remember watching these videos, like specifically these two right here, and just seeing the massive breaks. I'm like, wow, I hope someday I can shoot fireworks that big. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Here I got a bunch of stuff circled. This little Saturn battery. Yeah, these are little aerial repeaters. Pretty cool. If you guys were curious as to some of the pricing here, I'll try to go slow and you can either screenshot it or let me know in the comments if you'd like me to take a picture of a certain page in the catalog and send it to you. I can certainly do that as well. Rockets, always good fun. I remember seeing the smiley face rockets for the first time, and I was like, man, we have got to get those. And then, of course, the Fierce Tiger rockets. Man, this is just crazy. Looking at all this stuff. Here's all the Wolfpack Firecrackers, definitely one of my favorites as a kid. All the fountains here. Never really got into the fountains when I was younger because I always wanted the big stuff. You know, once you shoot an artillery shell for the first time, you never really want to go back. And I thought this was funny. I looked at this the other day. But down here, I've circled all the sparklers, and then I actually crossed them out on the inside. So it's like I was putting a giant X through these sparklers, like, I don't want them, I just want the big stuff. Up here, I've got some missiles circled. Man, this is so cool. And then we've got the Jumbo Rocket Assortment here, which was $50. I thought that was a steal, so I had to put that on the list, even though I never got this stuff, because our budget was always like $150, maybe $200. If that. We've got more assortments here, bigger assortments and better when you shop at Phantom. Pretty cool. So yeah, there was something about this become a Premier card member, and I think that's actually the card that I've got over there. So you just had to spend $400. So maybe one year we did spend $400. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, more assortments here. I love just how everything looks so vintage. The labels don't pop like this anymore. Just look at that. They really don't. You know, they're using a bunch of reds and yellows, and I feel like that just really pops. Definitely catch your eye. Got to be careful with this. Okay, cool. So never could afford these $330 for all that, but you know, a kid can dream. So I have the whole thing circled. This is the one we used to shop at right here, the Phantom of Roberts, Wisconsin, because it was like 5 miles from the Minnesota border. So pretty cool. Oh, there's that Screamin' Mimi I talked about. Now that was definitely my favorite one when I was a kid. I remember we only got this 1 year and I just was in love with the thing. I couldn't wait to shoot that off. I was looking at it all day on the 4th of July and I was just like, I cannot wait until it gets dark so we can shoot that off. Okay, now let's take a look at this little insert, which looks like it was at one point a part of a newspaper. As you can see, also from 2008. I know they don't really advertise this way anymore, but it's still kind of cool. So I've got a bunch of stuff circled here, you know, the smiley face rockets, all the rockets I wanted, even those Silver Salute Firecrackers, because I like to throw those in the little puddles that we had around the property. I got the missiles circled, we got the Wolfpack bottle rockets. I actually have this PNG image saved on my phone. Believe it or not, that is the image I used in a previous video as kind of a joke. So we'll put that over here. Now let's get right into the 2009 catalog and see if any prices have changed. It looks like same layout. As you can see, it's definitely not intact anymore. I try to keep it intact, but you know, after over a decade long sitting in storage, you never know. And I actually have to move this in on frame. So pyrotechnic mother load, pretty cool. I remember all these items as a kid. I'd watch them on the website and I'd save all these videos. I even had a playlist on YouTube full of every single one of these that I liked. Wizard of Oz, always one I wanted to get. I saw that down in Georgia too. And that was actually the last time I had been to a Phantom Fireworks. I didn't really circle anything. This is all kind of the same. I think it was just kind of a copy-paste edition. But we're looking for new items for 2009, and I'm not sure that I see any yet. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Maybe that Phantom missile base. I always wanted that, and I actually might have had that circled in the other catalog. Lucky Space Rocket. Yeah, none of these look new. They used to put the little blue thing on the side that says new, and I'm not seeing that. So definitely like a copy-paste kind of thing. Reusing assets, I guess you could call it. Okay, so right here, I did want to talk about this. This was super cool. When I was a kid, I really wanted this because they sold them like that in the pack. So this is the 500 gram Wolfpack missile base 25 shot. Now that baby right there was loaded. I can tell you right now, that was definitely more than 500 grams. So Phantom was pushing their luck there for a little while anyway. I don't know if they still make them like that, but so it's basically a cake made of rockets, and there's 25 missiles. So that's awesome. Really like that. Let's see. So they had these little electronic ignition kits. Kind of cool. More assortments. I don't know. I wanted to see if there was anything new or something different about this catalog, but it doesn't really look like it. So anyway, I know kind of a long, boring video, but it's always fun to revisit this stuff you had when you were a kid. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like Phantom fireworks, let me know in the comments. And definitely let me know about these prices. Have they changed from 2008? More expensive? Less expensive? Let me know, because I have not been there for a long time. That was Phantom Fireworks catalog, and I hope you guys enjoyed.